Yeah, good morning, all of you. We are discussing about Docker. I just wanted to give you brief details about the course as one or two people or some people have joined newly today. The course name is Docker and Kubernetes. No prerequisites, no prerequisites. Requisites. Duration is 45 days. Classes are from Monday to Saturday. Okay, you will be getting live classes plus recording, recording plus notes by through Google Drive, through Google Drive. Okay, the recordings will be valid for 6 months as per my understanding. Then what is fee? The class timings are for demos, that means up to Saturday or up to tomorrow. Sunday also I will try to take a class. Generally, we won't be having class on Sunday. Classes will be from Monday to Saturday. The thing is that from Monday onwards, the class will be at 6 a.m. to 7 a.m. IST. Got it? So this is what institute people have told me to inform you. From Monday onwards, the class will be from 6 a.m. to 7 a.m. This is very good time. Okay, you can wake up very early. That's a good practice, and you can learn the things, and you will be having bandwidth to go office or to attend to your other works. Okay, so don't disappointed with the change of time from Monday onward. The class timings will be 6 a.m. to 7 a.m. up to Sunday. Sunday also I will try to take class. Okay, this time at least for only this time because that is going to be the a demo class. Okay, so this is what it is. The class duration is 45 days. Don't disappointed with that long duration. Focus on learning and practicing. And I don't compromise on the teaching and the quality of the content. So that's why I'm taking little longer, not little longer, it's very longer duration only just for Docker and Kubernetes. Because some of the people will teach you entire DevOps in just 45 days to 50 days. You know that. But here we will teach Docker and Kubernetes for 45 days. And the course fee is 4,000 INR. Okay, 4,000 INR. Now let's dwell into the actual discussion. Yesterday we understood what is Docker. Docker is a containerization tool. What is Kubernetes? Kubernetes is a container orchestration tool. By knowing the definition, that doesn't mean that you know Docker and Kubernetes. In this course, we will see what is Docker, what is Kubernetes in real-time perspective. Now, we have understood the term, what is Docker image? Docker image consists of application along with its library. What is container? Container means running instance of a Docker image. What is Docker image? As I said, it consists of the application along with its libraries bundled together. And all these container images or Docker images or simply images will be stored in some central server called as registry and more specifically container registry. Docker Hub is the default public container registry. Going forward, we will understand what is private container registry, how our application images will be stored in the container registries in real time. All those things will be covered. We will learn how to create our own Docker image from the existing base images. That is very important. For that, we have a concept called Docker file. The next thing is, what is Docker host? Docker host is the machine in which we install Docker. Now let's understand how to install Docker. For that real time, what we do nowadays, we are all using the cloud-based virtual machines. Then I want to get the Ubuntu machine from AWS. How to log into AWS? aws.amazon.com. If you don't have AWS account and if you want to get the Ubuntu machine from AWS, please have an account with AWS, or you can get some virtual machine from anywhere, or you can install Hyper-V in your Windows machine and bring up an Ubuntu operating system. Okay, anyway, whether it can be in Amazon or Azure or anyway, all the Docker commands, everything will be same. Okay, I'm signing into the console. So this is our Docker class nodes, which consists of about 65 pages, and we will be moving to official documentation wherever necessary. And our Kubernetes consists of about 100 pages, and in this also we will be moving to the official documentation wherever necessary. Loading little late. Actually, I moved to different place. Here the network is little slow, friends. Pardon me for that. Okay, so I'm logging in as root user in AWS. If you are all aware of AWS, we have root user, we have IAM user. Okay. Once we sign into that, how to create a virtual machine, I will show you. So before that, how to connect to the remote machines. There are different ways. You may be heard of PuTTY, okay, to access section to the Ubuntu machine. But here I will introduce you a new tool if you are not aware, that is MobaXterm. MobaXterm, what you can do is just go to this link and there you will be having a zip link, a zip file will be downloaded, and click on this. So somewhere here, MobaXterm, where is it? Okay, anyway, we will be downloading it. Somewhere on the desktop, I think I put it. Okay, anyway, so once we download the MobaXterm zip file, extract it, and you will be finding this file. You don't need to do anything. Anyway, I will show you that also if it loads. Let me go to that link. Now, before that, I want to launch Ubuntu machine. Why this AWS management console is taking time? So if you click on this, a zip file will be downloaded. Okay, a zip file will be downloaded. Why this is not loading properly? What network issue? Okay, once we download the zip file and extract it, you will have this file inside of it. Just double click on this. I have pinned the to taskbar. If I click on this MobaXterm, application will be opened. Why we use MobaXterm? To connect to the remote machines. Okay, so once it is open, we need to click on session here, and before that we need to create Ubuntu machine. The MobaXterm zip file is downloaded, extracted, you will be having this application. Okay, now anyway, I'm not going to do AWS cloud. Just click on services here, then click on compute here, then click on EC2 services, compute EC2. You click on this, EC2 dashboard will be opened. So friends, let me switch to different network. Please be patient while it is running. Okay, what the network issues now will be resolved. So click on EC2 dashboard. What we are trying to do, we are trying to create Ubuntu machine from AWS cloud. Here click on instances. If you click on instances, see this EC2 instance dashboard will be open. Now in Mumbai region, I don't have any EC2 instance. I want to launch an instance now. Click on launch instances. Then what we are going to do in that instance, we are going to install the call where Docker is installed. The machine where Docker is installed is called as Docker host. So name it as Docker host. It doesn't mean Docker host by naming it. Okay, you can name this machine any way you want. Docker host Ubuntu. We are see here. This is Amazon machine image. Explore on this. You want, then we are using Ubuntu Server 22. Then create a key pair. Here we need to choose instance type also. Instance type means for this particular virtual machine, how many CPUs and how much of memory and disk space and network speed you want. So that decides, that will be decided based on the type of instance that you are choosing. So here T2.micro is this. I want to choose some higher one, T2.medium, which consists of two virtual CPUs and 4 GB memory. Then after that, we need to download the private key. You can use a key pair to securely connect to your instance. Ensure that you have access to the selected key pair before you launch the instance. So if you have key pair already downloaded, you can use it, but I wanted to show you how to create a new key pair. Now, let me name this key pair as Docker KP, okay, August 7 a.m. Something like that I want to create. The name of the key pair can be anything, friends. Then pen key I want to download, create key pair. Okay, once you click on create key pair will be created and it will be downloaded into your downloads folder. Then select existing security group. What is security group? It will consist of inbound and outbound traffic roles. Okay, because this is not the AWS class, I'm not going to ask those details. Just I wanted to just get the Ubuntu machine from AWS to install Docker. For that simple reason, we are going to do all these things. Now click on launch instance. With that instance will be launched. And again, you need to go to EC2 dashboard or directly to instances, or else you can also view all instances here. So with that, you will see that the instance will be launched in the Mumbai region. Now let's refresh this. See, it is in still pending state. It will take about 3 to 4 minutes for the instance to be fully up and running. So it came into running state. Meanwhile, status checks are being conducted by. Okay. So now, after status checks are done, we will be able to connect to the machine because the machine will be ready in 2 to 3 minutes. Now, what are the details of this machine? Click on this instance ID. Here you will see the instance ID, public IP address, and all those things which I am not interested now. Now, how to connect to this? For that, we need to have public IP address, username, and the private key that we have downloaded. Now, what I will do is, I know public IP from here. Where do I get the username? For that, click on connect here. There are different ways to connect to this remote machine, but our always preferred way is to connect to some client which we installed in our local machine, that is MobaXterm. Where is MobaXterm installed? MobaXterm is installed in our Windows machine. Now, Go to mobile external. As I said, click on session, click on SSH here, remote host. In place of remote host, copy the public IP address of your machine. Okay, copy the public IP address, specify username. What is the username here? You can see from here, that is Ubuntu. Okay, check the specify username and remove this and type Ubuntu in this. By default, the SSH port is 22. We use SSH protocol to connect to the Linux machines. Now that is fine. Where to upload the private key that we have downloaded when we are launching the instance? For that, click on advanced settings. By just giving the IP address and the username, we won't be able to connect to the machine. We need to click on advanced SSL settings, use private key. Okay, use private key, check this and just browse for that key. Go to downloads. Here somewhere you will be having the file just now that we have downloaded, Docker KP August 7 a.m. Okay, just click on OK. With that, we will be connecting to that Ubuntu machine which we have created in the Mumbai data center of Amazon Web Services. Now this is the remote machine. Now we connected to the Ubuntu machine which is remotely located in somewhere Mumbai. Now how to install Docker? You don't need to go anywhere. Just go to our notes. See, installing Docker in Ubuntu. Okay, sudo su. That means to go to root account. Okay, just perform that. You may be aware of it. That's the basic Linux command. Then curl. Using curl, what we will do? Here we are getting the Docker script from this website to into our local machine. We are generating the output and we are saving that output into get.docker.sh file. Once we hit this, that content will be downloaded into this file. If we use ls, okay, we are able to list that file. Now how to run this shell script? Just use sh get docker. If we do that, Docker will be installed for us. So the same steps I have given here. Then how to ensure that Docker is installed and how much time it may take for the Docker to be installed? It won't take more than 2 to 3 minutes. You will see that. Let's wait for it. And this Docker software will be supported by every operating system that is in place today. See, Docker is installed. Now, how to check whether it is installed or not? Here the message is clearly given. If you want to check it again, Docker hyphen version. So Docker is installed. Docker CLI is installed by default. We are not exclusively installing it. When we install Docker by default, Docker CLI will be installed. Docker CLI is used to interact with the Docker engine which we have installed now. That is fine. Okay, so where we are, let's go to our diagram. Here, this is the Ubuntu operating system we have taken. We have installed Docker in that. Now we need to run the container. To run container, what we need to have? We need to have the container image. If you understood, if you remember, all the images will be stored in some central server called as container registry. And what I said is the default container, public container registry is Docker Hub. Where is Docker Hub? For that, just type hub.docker.com. Hub.docker.com. So this is called as Docker Hub, which is a default public container registry by Docker. Got it? And here, initially, you don't need to have any account with the Docker to pull or to download the images which are public in nature. And In order to save our custom images into the Docker hub, we need to have an account with the Docker that we will understand going forward. Okay, as of now, our intention is to run the container. To run the container, we need to download the container image. Now, where are we? We are into the Docker hub. We are into the Docker hub. There are other container registries also, which we will learn going forward. So here in Docker Hub, we will be having what? Images, container images. Now, this is our Docker host machine, which is Ubuntu machine, which is created in the AWS. Now, to run containers here, first, we need to download the image. Now, let's represent the image with this. We need to download this image into the Docker host machine. We are downloading the image. Now, once that image is downloaded, the image is downloaded where? It is downloaded into the Docker host machine. Now, from that image, what we do, we will run the container. What is container? The running instance of this image. Just we need to execute this file. Once we execute this file, we will get the container. Okay, this is the flow. Now, the first thing is which Docker image we need to download. That is the thing. And if you know how to install Jenkins in Ubuntu, installing Jenkins in Ubuntu, if you go here to the official documentation of the Jenkins, there the steps will be given. So I'm clicking on Debian. So the prerequisites here to install Jenkins says Jenkins is a Java-based automation server which is widely used in the DevOps. Now the prerequisites to install Jenkins are we need to have 256 MB of RAM, 1 GB of drive space. Recommended hardware is this one. We need to have these softwares and especially the Java because Jenkins is a Java-based tool. After ensuring all this thing, we need to install Java. Then after that, we need to run all these commands. Even after doing all these things, there is no guarantee that Jenkins will be installed in our server. Okay, so many a times you may be facing, even though you are following all the steps, sometimes the software won't be running. Okay, Ben Gyan is asking what time is this class? 6 a.m. or 7 a.m. Till Sunday the class will be at 7 a.m. to 8 a.m. But from Monday onwards, class will be 6 a.m. to 7 a.m. This is somewhat planned by the institute, and other people will also be joining on Monday. Already they were kept in hold, okay, for this batch because some of you were requesting. What they told is that some were missing that batch, so they are requesting for this class. So that's why we planned it 7 a.m. for a few days up to Sunday, and this class will be at 6 a.m. from Monday. Okay, so please adjust your timing accordingly. And in case if you are not able to attend the class one or the other day, you can go to the recording and I will assure that you will understand that easily. Okay, because all the doubts which you may get, all those doubts I will explain in advance before you ask. That's how I teach. Now, these are the things, even after doing all these things, there is no guarantee that the Jenkins will be successfully running. Then what we do is we will containerize this process. I want to run the Jenkins in a container, right? How to do that? How easily it will be to run the things in the container. The same Jenkins application we will be running in the container. To run the container, what we need to have? We need to have the image for that. Where is that Jenkins image? Do we need to create it now or is it already there in the Docker Hub? It is already there in the Docker Hub. Now, how can I find it? Just type Jenkins here. You click on Jenkins. Jenkins container image will be shown and different versions will be shown here. And what it is saying is the Jenkins Docker officially image is deprecated. Okay, so now we need to use this image Jenkins/Jenkins, and this is a Jenkins official logo, and it was updated 6 days ago. The image is updated 6 days ago. First, this image is there in the Docker Hub. Then we need to download it. How to download it? Just click on this. You don't need to click on that as well. Here the command will be given. What is the command? Docker pull Jenkins/Jenkins. The image name is Jenkins/Jenkins. Why this slash? You will understand going forward when we are dealing with our own container registry. Just copy this command. You don't need to copy. You can just execute. You can just type here also. But I'm lazy. Docker pull Jenkins/Jenkins. If you hit this, the Jenkins Docker image, which is there in the Docker Hub, which is a default public container registry, will be downloaded into our Ubuntu machine where we have installed our Docker. Now, how to check? See, the image is downloaded. That is the status here. How to check? What are all other images that are already downloaded into our Docker host machine? Just now we have created the Docker host machine, and we saw that apart from Jenkins, we didn't create any other thing. Now here, what I will do is Docker images or Docker image ls. That means I want to get the list of all the images that are there in our Docker host machine. If we hit enter, see the image Jenkins/Jenkins is downloaded. This is the image ID. Every Docker object, here the Docker object is Docker image, will be assigned with an unique ID. Okay. And 2 days ago means this was updated 2 days ago, friends. Actually, they have made it created, but it was updated. The Jenkins image was created long ago, but it was updated 2 days ago. Where I can see updated 2 days ago. Actually, this should be updated, but they have given it as created. Okay. And what is the size of this image? The size of this image is about 480 MB. Now, what we have done, we have downloaded the image into our Docker host machine. This is the image. Now we need to run the container. How to run the container? We need to execute it. Docker run. What is the image name? Jenkins/Jenkins is the image name. And what I will do is, this you will understand going forward, friends. Just I want to give you the feel of how we can run the Jenkins application in the using container. That's what I wanted to show you. This P and this ports you will understand later. Just I wanted to give you the feel of containers. Okay. Now what I will do is I'm just hitting enter. So what we are trying to do, Jenkins application is now up and running. How much time it took? The Jenkins is running now. How do I ensure that Jenkins is running? These are the logs of the Jenkins server. Now I will access it. How to access it? I will access with the public IP address, and you will understand all these things going forward. Don't worry about them at this moment. Okay. See, Jenkins is running. How fastly we are able to run the Jenkins using the containers. But in non-container world, you need to ensure all these things. We need to install Java. We need to run all these commands. Even after doing all this donkey work, there is no guarantee that Jenkins will be running in our machine. But using containers, see how super fast and how easy See, have we installed any dependencies here? No. Why? Because the Jenkins image nothing but the Jenkins application along with its libraries. For example, the Jenkins image consists of the Java and other related libraries which are needed for the Jenkins application to be run. And all those things are packaged in the image, and that image is stored in the Docker Hub. We are pulling that image and we are running that Jenkins. See, if I give this IP address and the port to you, you will also be able to access my Jenkins server. I'm pinging this to you in the chat box. All of you, please hit that IP and you should be able to uh, access it. Please do it. So there is times that I am unable to connect to Ubuntu from mobile external. We will look into it Sudhir later. Okay, so first try all of you please try to access it and tell me whether you are able to access my Jenkins server or not. Funny, Bangad, Raghav, Shivaji, Das, Sudhir, are you able to access the Jenkins? Have you hit any one of you? Yes, Sudhir is able to access. If at least one guy is able to access, others also should be able to access my Jenkins server. That is how containers work. Containers are very super fast. How much time it took to launch the Jenkins application? Within no time, we are able to launch the Jenkins application. All those things we are going to learn going forward. Okay. So to run container, what we need to have? We need to have the container image, which we will be downloading from the Docker Hub. Now let's understand what are other aspects. Slowly, we will be advancing into the topics. Now, this we understood. This diagram I will explain in a moment. Now, first we need to pull the Docker image. Now, these are the logs that we see. Okay, but I want to exit from this as of now, because if the logs are shown like this, I won't be able to run another commands. Okay, just I want to exit from this. How to do that? Just apply Control C. Okay, so with Control C, the container will be in stop state. How to list out the container? Docker ps -a. A stands for all. It will show running as well as exited container. Now let's hit enter. If you see that the Docker container for Jenkins is in exited state because I have applied Control C while it was running. Okay. Now Docker ps A will show all exited and running containers. Okay, leave about it. Docker ps command will show only the running containers. If you see in our Docker host machine, there is no running container. Now, I want to run Nginx container, Nginx application in Docker container. For that, again, what we need to do? We need to have Nginx Docker image. Where it will be there? It will be there in the Docker Hub. Now, I know that Nginx image will be there. We will be having MySQL. We will be having operating system based images. Those are called base images, like Ubuntu, CentOS images will also be there. Now, what I will do is I will try to download Nginx image. Docker full Nginx. This is to download the image into our Docker host machine. And image will be downloaded as different layers. What are layers? We will understand going forward again. Okay. So at this moment, we can't understand it. You will understand only after understanding the Docker file. The Nginx image has been downloaded. How do I check it? Docker image ls. See, the Nginx image is downloaded. And what is the size of the Nginx image? It is 187 MB. And what is the size of the Jenkins image that we have pulled earlier? It is about 478 MB in size. So based on the weight of the application, based on the size of the libraries that are packed into the Docker image, the size of the Docker image will vary. And sometimes it will be just 4 MB in size. Sometimes it will be about 1 GB in size. Sometimes it will be 100 MB in size. What are the things that you are installing in the Docker image? Installing in the Docker image, you will understand that going forward, where we will understand how to create our custom Docker images. Got it? That is. Now, the Nginx image is downloaded. How to run the container from it? Docker run. I want to run the container from which image. The image has to be specified. Docker run Nginx. That's it. Nginx container will be running. See how quickly the application came into running state. Right? Now, if you keep on running the container like this, and if the logs are flowing on the console like this, we won't be able to run any other command. Okay, because here the application is running and the logs are shown. We won't be able to run another container. Now, what I will do is I will duplicate this tab and we need to run another container. Login is the root user. Now, I want to see what are all the containers that are running. Docker, yes, if you see, Nginx container is running. This is the container ID. This is the image that is being used by the container. Now, the container was created 49 seconds ago, and the upward it was 49 seconds ago. The port is 80. The name of the container is cpkit, which is a randomly generated name by the Docker. And later we will see that we can customize this name. Okay, so this is the container cpkit, which is nothing but the Nginx container. Got it? Now, but if I want to run another container, I can run from the same image. You can run multiple containers also. So we are trying to run another container. For that, Docker run Nginx. Okay, the content is now shown. But will I be able to run another command here? No. For that, what we need to do? We need to duplicate this tab. We need to run another instance of that Docker host and we need to execute that. But do you think this is the ideal approach? No. What we can do is we can run the container in detached mode. How to run the container in detached mode? I will show you that. So meanwhile, what I will do is I will just exit from this container. Control C. I applied Control C. The process is exited. Clear the screen. Docker ps -j. I want to list out the both running as well as stopped containers. If you see Jenkins, we have already exited. Now one Nginx container is already exited, but this Nginx container is still running for us. See, the container names are different. Unruffled Satosh. Okay, so some random names are being given by the Jenkins. Now, what I want to do is I want to run the container, but I want to run the container in detached mode so that I will be able to use the same terminal for other commands as well. For that, Docker run, the image is Nginx. Then to run the container in detached mode, we will use D option. Now let's hit enter. See, container is running. Now let's check for it. Control Docker PS. PS stands for process. See here, see the container is up 5 seconds ago. This is the container name. So from the same image, you can run multiple containers from the same image, you can run multiple containers. Got it? And in Kubernetes, you will see that the same application will be running in multiple replicas. What is it? You will understand slowly. That's what this course is about. Docker PS is command to list out only the running container. Docker ps a, it will show both running as well as stopped containers. Stopped containers are nothing but the exited containers. Now, container is running and the container is named randomly. How do I know? How do I understand which container for what purpose I have given are running? So is there any way to name the container by our hand? Yes. For that, Docker run as usual. We are using Nginx image. We are running the container in detached mode. Now I want to name the container. I don't want to have the randomly generated name for the container. I want to name the container by myself. For that, hyphen name option is there. Name of the container is C1. Any name you can give. C1 you can give, your name you can give my Nginx, or you can give dev server, you can give front end, whatever the name that you suits better, that you think suits better for that, you can give like that. Now the container name I have given is C1 and we are running the container in detached mode and the image that I want to use for this container is Nginx. Let's hit enter. The container is created. Now if you see Docker ps, see what is the name of the container? The name of the container is C1 and every container will be assigned with some unique container ID which is nothing but alphanumeric name. Now the containers are running, that is fine. Can I remove the container? Can I stop the containers which are created like this? Yes, we can stop the container. Just run docker stop C1. The container will be stopped. If I see, sorry, docker ps, the container is no longer shown in the running containers list. Now let's see if you use -a, see the C1 container is in exited state because we stopped it. Can I start it again? Yes, you can start it again. Docker start C1. Okay. Now Docker ps, if you see the C1 content is started, it is up 3 seconds ago. Actually, the content was created a minute ago, but it is up 3 seconds ago after it was stopped. Now, I want to delete the container altogether. I don't want to stop the container. I want to stop and remove the container. To remove the container, we need to stop the container first. How to stop the container? Docker stop C1. Now, Docker PSA, the container is in stopped state. Now, Docker to remove container, we have RM. Docker RM C1. Okay, generally it is Docker container RM, but even if you don't specify container by default, it will assume that we are using this RM for the container. Docker RM C1. If you see the C1 container is no longer existing. Okay, that is fine. Now let's try to remove this container called Hungry Banjai, or the container ID is this one. You can use either container ID or container name also. Docker RM, let's use container ID. What it is saying, we can't remove a running container. To remove a container, first the container has to be stopped. Then only we can remove it. But I don't want to stop it. I'm lazy. I want to remove it forcibly. I want to stop it and remove it with single command. For that, what we can do is in RM command, we use F, which stands for force. F stands for force. Okay, the container is removed now. Right? See, the container is removed. Now, I want to get the list of all the container IDs. For that, we have echo Docker PSA. Docker PSA, what it does, it will give the list of all exited as well as the running container. And if you give Q, it will give only the container IDs. Now we want to echo. See, these are all the list of container IDs that are either stopped or the running. Okay. Now I want to remove all of them at once. For that, Docker RM, I want to use force. I want to remove all the containers, whether they are running or stopped. So that we can achieve it. The Docker RM stands for remove. Forcibly, with force, I want to remove. And what are the containers that I want to remove? I want to remove all the containers, whether they are whether they are running or in stopped state. Now let's execute this. So with that, all the containers is removed. Docker PSA, there are no containers either running or stopped. Now, what about images? What about images? We have removed the containers, but the container images will be there or not when we remove the containers. Let's see. Docker images. See, the container images are not removed. Okay, we can use these images again to run the container. Now, how to remove this image? Images will occupy the space. If that is the case, if we keep on pulling the images, the disk will be full, The disk will be full at some point of time. How to remove the unused images? For that, we have Docker RMI, stands for remove image. Now you can use either the image name or the image ID. Let's use image ID. With that, image is removed. Now, I want to remove Jenkins image also. Now, as I said, we can use either image ID or the image name. This tags we will understand going forward. Okay, so with that, the two images are removed after images. Now, to run the container again, we need to pull the image first. But I want to run the container without downloading the image. How to run the container? Docker run. I want to name the container C1 now. And to run the container, definitely we should specify image. And I want to run the container in detached mode. But as we see, the image nginx is not there in our host machine because we have deleted it. We have deleted the image. I deleted the containers and we have deleted the image. And that image is no longer existing. Got it? But still we are trying to run the container. Now let's see what will happen. See, unable to find the image locally. The Docker is, forget about this tag friends. We will be having separate section for that. Unable to find image locally. Docker will try to find the image specified in the Docker host machine. If it is not found, by default, it will pull it from the Docker hub. That's what it is done here. Right? And what happens? The image will be pulled and the content will be created. Docker PSC content is successfully running. We wanted to run the container. For that, we need to specify the image. As the image is not downloaded already, the image will be downloaded, and from that container will be created, and the container will be named as C1. Got it? So that's what here it is done by the Docker. Now, what I will do is I want to see the logs of the containers. Docker log, even all these commands and all these things I have mentioned in the notes, friends. After teaching for a lot of batches, I know every command. So that's why I'm not referring to the note. Okay, you will understand that all the things we are discussing is clearly mentioned in the notes. Okay, now let's come to this diagram. So this is the Docker host machine where Docker is installed. Now we are interacting with the Docker host with the Docker CLI. Now we are pulling the image. When we pull Docker image, the when we apply Docker pull command, it will go to the Docker daemon. Docker daemon, what it does, it will go to the registry, that is Docker hub, and it will pull the image from there into the Docker host machine. The image is downloaded. Got it? Now, when we apply Docker run, again the command will go to Docker daemon. If the image is there, from that container will be created. The image is not there, okay? Docker will try to pull the image from the Docker hub. The image will be pulled, and from that content will be generated. That's what we have seen just now. Okay, this is the flow. So majorly three things are involved here. One is Docker engine, a Docker daemon, Docker client to interact with it. We have Docker registry. Got it. So these are three different tools, three different a system that we have to have the containers running in our Docker host machine. Got it? Now, I want to show the logs. I want to see the logs of the container, Docker logs C1. I want to see that live logs. For that, we can use, yeah, F will give the live log. Okay. F doesn't mean force here. It will show the logs here. I don't know what is the full form of the F, but F is used to get the log. If the logs are being generated, they will be coming here. As the logs are not being generated now, because nobody is accessing and nothing is being connected to this application, so we won't see it. Now we can exit from this controls. Got it? If you have any questions till now, you can ask.
Sir, I created EC2 instance and I tried to connect from Mobex, but I'm not sure it is giving me some connection timeout network error.
Where you have created your Ubuntu in EC2 in AWS, or where you have
Ah,
created that?
in AWS only. Yeah.
Okay, there you should check the security group where we need to allow the all the traffic. Okay, or else if it is handy, can you share your screen?
Yes, yes, yes.
Yeah, just stop my screen share. Please try to share your screen. Let's look into it.
A host disabled attendees screen share.
Oh, is it? Let me try from my end. Hello. I think I don't have option to that. Okay, anyway, you go to your security group that is attached to that particular EC2 instance, and there you need to allow all traffic or at least SSH inbound traffic rule. Okay,
Meaning inbound rules, right? So it is, yeah, all traffic. Yes, it is mentioned as all traffic only because I selected the default group. So where inbound rule is
have you
mentioned as
uploaded the pen key that we have downloaded? Have you uploaded it?
yes, yes, yeah, yeah. I have given the host name and then the Ubuntu and then I uploaded the private key. Yeah.
Private key we have uploaded. Mm, yeah, here it is there. Make host is there. Okay, I'm making you as the host, and after it is done, it make me as the host. Do you want to change the host possibility? Yes, yes. Yeah, now share your screen.
Okay. Can you see my screen?
Yeah, we can see this.
Okay. So if I connect now, I'm getting like this.
Go to session again. Go to your AWS.
Yep. So
Uh,
EC2.
where is your instance?
One second.
Okay, it is there. Okay, click on it. Which IP you have copied, public IP or private IP?
Public IP.
Okay. Now go to security group.
Okay,
Click
this
on,
is the
yeah. Source, you should put all IPs there. Okay. Can you
yeah.
please click on edit inbound? Okay. That click on the cross mark here. No, not that here. Here in custom. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Now click on that custom now.
All.
Anywhere.
Okay.
Yeah. Now you may not specify here security group. Just delete this rule.
Okay.
Delete this rule altogether. There at the end you have delete rule, right?
Yeah.
Delete that rule. Okay, without wasting time, let's create yard. Yeah. Now select all traffic. SS is also fine. Let's keep now anywhere IPv4. Just save rule now. Go to mobile storm. Shift to capital R. Shift to R. Shift to R. Just shift to R.
Okay. Yeah.
Okay, accept. That's it. Please make me as the host.
Okay. So it's because okay. Okay, understood, sir. But
Okay.
I haven't added anything, sir. But it was a default one. I'm not sure how. Okay,
Okay,
I'll check
maybe
on it.
the default security group in your case, maybe the rules or something. Okay.
Okay. Okay. Yeah.
Yeah. Can you please make me as a host so that I can share my screen? Yeah.
Here I can see making host. One second.
You go to participants, there you will have three dots menu at my name and there
Yeah.
make me as the host.
Yeah. Done.
Yeah, thank you. Yeah, that is friends. I think if you have any questions, you can ask me and the time is almost over. And the thing is that from Monday onwards, the class will be from 6 a.m. to 7 a.m. And please try to complete your payment formalities as soon as possible so that you will be allowed to use my notes. Okay. And they will be sharing with you the Google Drive. There they will upload the notes. I will upload the notes there. Okay. So that you can practice it every day class. Okay. From Monday, class will be 6 a.m. to 7 a.m. And today, Saturday, we will be, tomorrow it will be Saturday, we will be having class. And Sunday also I will take class at least for this week. And from next onward, there won't be class on Sunday. Okay. Anyway, it is Sunday morning. You can also attend the class without registration. Okay. That's all for today, guys. Let's meet tomorrow. Thank you. Bye.
Thank you.